when we talk about the rich and famous, then we cannot miss her name. But playing the docile industrialist wife is not her game. In the fields of art and fitness, she has made her claim to fame. So let's catch up with Nawaz Singhania on High Tea with me, Simi Chandoke.
Must watch. It's hot.
Mr Bachchan was staying with our family. He was trying to establish and launch his career here. He had no place to stay.
Why didn't you do any portraits of any of the Indians then?
I don't know. I just don't like any of this. It just has that whole air to it. So I just wanted to stay far away from it. It's just a little awkward.
You know how many girls would have been dying to get married to Gautam Singhania?
At that point in time, I was dating someone else. So he kind of stepped in at just the right time. I come from a broken home. I kind of wasn't very gung-ho about marriage to begin with.
Hi Nawaz, welcome to High Tea.
Hi Simi, thank you.
So Nawaz, of course you're an industrialist wife, more importantly you're a mom, and then you've also been a fitness expert for over 2 decades. How do you manage to play so many roles together?
You know Simi, I started off with the fitness industry and subsequently got into art and got involved with the company, etc. So I guess it was staged in. It was easy that way.
But you obviously seem to be enjoying it.
Loving it. I wouldn't want to have my life any other way.
So you were always into fitness, and then a few years ago, we heard that you're getting into art. How did you embark on this journey where you decided that, okay, now I'm going to start painting?
You know, I've always been creatively inclined, so I've always done a lot of stuff with my hands, whether it's art or craft or stitching, or I've always been that way. However, after my daughter was born, my first daughter, I was very housebound, feeding and stuff like that, and large chunks of time where I just would have to be there. And I think that's when I became a lot more serious about my art. My canvases got larger. What I was doing since I was right there, you know, was more experimental, and I took it up a lot more seriously from that point.
Nawaz, your recent exhibition where you did portraits of many celebrities, it was on page 3, like I was discussing before we started shooting, and they were wonderful portraits. Of course, we are going to show our viewers those portraits. We have them right here. I did notice that most of the celebrities that you had painted there were all from the West. How come you decided not to have any Indian celebrities, or why didn't you do any portraits of any of the Indians there?
It's a question I've been asked before. It's not that I didn't think of it, I did. So I have been asked, for instance, that, you know, why didn't you do Mr Bachchan, or why didn't you do Mr Shah Rukh Khan? Juhi came to my show and asked me, why didn't you do me? And, you know, the thing is that we know a lot of these celebrities, these personalities well. So, for instance, when Mr Amitabh Bachchan first came to Bombay, he had no place to stay. And his father was very close to our family, and therefore Mr Bachchan was staying at with our family for a long, long time, you know, while he was trying to establish and launch his career here. I kind of find it a bit odd when you know somebody well, and then you iconize them and idolize them and put them up on canvas. It's just a little awkward. So.
But are you planning to do any of the Indian personalities? I mean, there have been artists who've made portraits of Mother Teresa, and they've been hugely influenced by her.
Portraits of Mother Teresa, Gandhi are common. It's so common in the art world. I never want to do anything that's common to begin with. I don't know, I just don't like any of this. It just has that whole air to it, so I just wanted to stay far away from it.
That makes sense. Nawaz, you started your career as a fitness expert. What made you get onto the fitness track?
You know, I was 21. I was just getting out of college. And like any other 21-year-old, I would have been wondering, you know, where my life was going to take me next. The option open to me was law. because everyone in my family is a lawyer. So I wanted to do something which was not done to death.
Something that was probably more glamorous and more fun and not very technical.
I suppose. Didn't think of it that way, but yeah, you could say so.
What was your dad's reaction when you told him that I'm going to get into fitness?
I think Simi had a bit of a mixed reaction. On one level, he'd always told me at that point that, don't worry about, you don't need to do something to make a living. You don't need to worry about, you'll always be well taken care of. So just do something that makes you happy and do something which allows you to give back to society. And on the other hand, he kind of felt that fitness, really, it's so fluffy and it's so, nobody was doing it at that point in time. So he was wondering how serious that could be and how serious I would be about it. But I remember one day he asked me that, how long do you plan to do this, be in fitness? And I turned around and asked him, Dad, how long are you planning to be a lawyer?
How did you and your husband Gautam Singhania meet the first time?
We met in the RG's discotheque 23 years ago. I was with a bunch of friends and I met him through a common friend and we just got talking. And that was it. Ever since he started sending me flowers and kind of, started kind of hanging out with me and wanting to get to know me better, etc. And at that point in time, I was dating someone else.
Wow. So what did it take Gautam to woo you away from another guy?
Well, it wasn't hard at all because I was anyway on my last leg with him.
Okay.
He was somebody I was having trouble with in any case and wanting to get rid of, so he kind of stepped in at just the right time.
So Gautam was God sent?
In a way, I guess, yes.
And how many years after dating did you get married?
8 years. 8 years, long time.
And what took you so long?
I come from a broken home, so I kind of wasn't very gung-ho about marriage to begin with. I had mixed feelings on it, didn't really think it could work out, was skeptical and worried about it, so I took my own time. When he asked me to marry him, I kind of, said that, let me think about it, let me get back to you. And I kind of took my own time from there.
You know how many girls would have been dying to get married to Gautam Singhania at that time and you were taking your time?
Well, different folks, different strokes, I guess, yeah.
Nawaz, you just said that you had a different concept about marriage and you weren't really eager to get married because you came from a broken family. But what would you tell our young viewers today that should your past experiences or rather somebody else's experiences?
I told myself the same thing when I decided to take the plunge and marry him. I decided that, somebody else's actions and therefore...
Reactions too.
Yes, and therefore, my experiences as a result of that are not going to kind of get me frozen in my tracks. It's not going to hinder my life. I will still go ahead and, do what I need to do. I might make the same mistakes, who knows? But at least it'll be my life. And secondly, I think in hindsight that you learn a lot from other people's errors and other people's experiences. You learn what you definitely don't want to do. And you learn what you definitely want. You learn to be a lot more particular and caring about things, situations, people, etc. based on, what you've gone through.
Correct.
So it's actually a good thing.
There are many advantages to being an industrialist wife, but if I had to ask you, what is the disadvantage of being somebody's wife, somebody who's famous, somebody who's rich, and somebody who's extremely well known?
I think there are really very few disadvantages. I'd have to struggle to think of any disadvantages, but I think I would have to say that sometimes, there is a lot of envy. It's not always apparent, and you keep it at an arm's length distance in any case, but sometimes people in positions of power can try to misuse that against you.
We see a lot of business wives who are just happy going for parties, socializing. I don't see you doing a lot of that.
It bores me. I need to be more my own person. I need
so you
to
get
have
bored
substance.
at parties?
No, I don't. I have a good time, but I need to know I'm worth a lot more than that. My self-esteem is a lot higher. My self-confidence is a lot higher. I need my life to value to a much higher degree. So that's just not me. I don't judge them, but that's just not me.
When you look at all the Bollywood stars that we have right now, if I had to ask you, when you think of hot body, which is one name that comes to you instantly?
Shah Rukh Khan maintains himself very well, so does Hrithik Roshan. Among the females, I would have to say Deepika.
Yes, I was expecting that.
Yeah. More than the rest, I would say. More than a Katrina, more than a Kareena, for sure. They go through phases and swings. The shoot is on, they're in great shape. Thereafter, they go the other way. They go sideways on it.
Nawaz, we've all been part of this change where, high society parties and even page 3, Bollywood stars and Bollywood was a big taboo. How much acceptance have they really got in non-Bollywood circles?
Even in non-Bollywood circles, they rule. So they rule in cricket, they rule in pretty much everything and anything. Any company wants them endorsing their products. So even if they're not directly linked, they are it. For instance, a Bombay Times used to be a Bombay Times. Now it's only a Bollywood Times.
It's true. Everywhere there's Bollywood.
Yeah. So
I'm talking about Bollywood to you here.
You are. So.
Does it happen that when you go out, you're always looking at bodies and dissecting them?
Simi, you have so many women out there who are overweight, who are not particularly gifted in the looks department.
Nawaz, our viewers are all young and they like to look really glamorous and fit and attractive. So they're watching your interview right now, and we are going to show them some fitness routines. But if you had to quickly share with them what kind of a diet should they be eating every day that keeps them healthy and still looking good?
When it comes to food and what you should or shouldn't do, just very, very briefly and basically stay away from the whites. So stay away from white rice, white bread, white sugar, etc. Go with the more natural supplements instead. Lots of fresh fruits, lots of vegetables. Raw vegetables are better than cooked, so salads are better than the cooked vegetables. In terms of protein, go high on protein, but the lean protein. So if you're a non-vegetarian, stay away from the meats. Also, lots of water. Stay well hydrated. It cuts fat. It removes the toxins in the body. Good eating habits established early in life are also far better than trying to change your ways later. It doesn't really happen.
Well, since you know so much and you're so conscious about your body as well, does it happen that when you go out, you're always looking at bodies and dissecting them?
Yeah, it does.
That must be terrible, right? Because the bad bodies, you want to put them into shape.
I was at a wedding in Dubai recently, where everyone was wearing a gown. Everyone was very, it was very streamlined, body hugging, etc. And they were all at least 15 kilos overweight. Everyone. And I was like, oh my God, do they not look at themselves in the mirror before they leave their house? Very confident. Fat rolls all over the place.
I don't know if it's confident or ignorant.
I don't know. They must have a mirror somewhere.
Maybe they buy mirrors from some other place. We don't know where they sell those mirrors.
Yeah.
Being a fitness expert, can you tell the difference right away when somebody is starving and famished and nipped and tucked, and when somebody is working hard on their body?
Two things out here, Simi. Firstly, when somebody is nipped, tucked, starving, etc., yes, it's very easy to tell. The look is absolutely not the same. It's not healthy. The skin is not great. There's a certain amount of sagging. There's tiredness. There's listlessness. There's paleness in the skin, etc. And secondly, the effect of this doesn't remain. If at all, it's a very short-term effect.
Correct.
So when people want to stay very fit and very slim and glamorous and beautiful, and everybody does, they also want it for a lifetime. So there's no easy way out. It just does boil down to eventually exercise and the correct habits.
Nawaz, I was reading a recent interview of you where you said that I do not like to wear designer brands and expensive labels. Why is that?
Simi, you have so many women out there who are overweight, who are not particularly gifted in the looks department, who wear a lot of designer wear. And, the designer wear looks like $1 million, but they in comparison, you know, can't say the same. And I'd rather it be the other way around for me. So I'd rather look like $1,000,000 myself and wear rags. It's not about brands for me. It's not about what's in or out of fashion at that point. It's just about what I look good in, what I feel good in. That's it and that's all.
So Nawaz, you've shared so many of your diet tips here, and we have been talking about your passion for art. How about we show the portraits that we were talking about to our viewers?
Sure, love to.
So here we are with Nawaz Singhania's latest artwork. Nawaz, what made you do portraits this time?
Well, Simi, I was looking for something new, something different.
So what is the story behind these paintings? Let's start with Lady Diana.
Okay, so Lady Diana, we visit London at least, 5-6 times a year typically. And you can't look at her. I wanted to take on firstly images which were very well known. So this is a very well known image of her. And I wanted to give it my own rendition. So you can't look at Lady Diana and not think of Prince Charles and an unhappy life and the ending and her children and the sort of experiences she's been through. So I wanted to recreate all of that.
And Nawaz, now tell us about this portrait.
So David Beckham needs no introduction. Well, his T-shirt number is DB7. So that's what the work is called.
Okay.
And I wanted to
give it... And he's not wearing a T-shirt here.
Yes, he's not. He's not. And had a great time painting this one. And wanted to get... I wanted it to be very rough and ready. And, I wanted the sun in and the bronze of the skin and the sun in the background and the greenness, the freshness of the whole thing in. Lines, warts, all of it. So that's what it's about.
Wow, that's interesting. So I think our viewers have seen a lot of your artwork from your latest collection, and now I think we should take them to your fitness studio.
Lovely.
After you had your children, how long did it take you to get back into shape?
You will have to judge.
So Nawaz, tell us what your daily fitness routine is like.
Simi, I teach a lot of the classes that are conducted at my fitness center, about 20-25 various routines that happen, various varieties of routines actually that happen. So I teach a lot of those. That's my own personal fitness regime as well. Plus, I do a lot of Pilates, which is what you see me do right now. It's fantastic. It slims you down, it trims you down. It sort of has a Japanese doll-in-doll effect. You become very small. It has a sort of a corset-like effect. So you become very petite.
Our viewers are loving that. And if you can just tell them how much they should be working out in one day.
It depends on what level you're starting at. So if you're a beginner, thrice a week is fine.
And for how long is one session?
About an hour.
Okay.
You need that. And then at a more advanced stage, you need to kind of up that.
And how long would it take them to build up their stamina where they can be doing it pretty effortlessly? For newcomers, for beginners?
Usually, we advise they stick to the same program for about 3 months before you start grading it up.
Okay.
The body needs that time to adapt.
And after you had your children, how long did it take you to get back into shape?
Well, my youngest daughter is 2 years old, so you will have to judge.
I think you're already doing fabulous.
Thank you.
And any quick do's and don'ts for our young viewers?
It's really important, firstly, to make sure that you always get medical clearance before you embark on a workout. And secondly, it's not a good idea to just take off on your own. Always make sure that you're with a trained, qualified trainer. At a later stage, you might choose to, do things on your own once you've understood the do's and don'ts of things. But till then, you need to be supervised.
Well, I think we've got tips from an expert, and you've got the best giving you ideas how to get back into shape or how to keep your shape. Thank you so much, Nawaz, for talking to Zoom.
Thank you,
It's been a pleasure spending so much time with you.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.